Hey y'all, welcome back to the Social Growth Experiment. And if you're new here, this is where I test what's actually growing on social media right now across TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels. I'm doing this so I can help you grow faster without wasting time guessing. So in episode 1, I talked about why I started this whole experiment and how I built my strategy from scratch. In episode 2, we broke down how to stop the scroll with hooks that grab attention. And today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is riding the wave of popular content. And this is because when you understand how to spot a trend early and you make it fit your niche, it can completely change your reach. So when I say riding the wave, I mean recognizing a moment that's already getting attention online and then finding a smart, authentic way to join the conversation. So it's not about copying, it's about context. So every platform has its own current, right? TikTok moves fast, Instagram maybe follows close behind, and YouTube Shorts has trends that hang around longer. The creators who grow the quickest aren't necessarily the ones who start the trends. They're the ones who can recognize a wave forming and paddle out right at the right time. So I want to talk about my own experiences with this. So when I started my brand new travel and lifestyle channel, I tested all kinds of formats: voiceovers, talking heads, straight B-roll with trending sounds. Then I saw Tabitha Brown, y'all know who she is, posting about Martha's Vineyard. I've been there several times, so I thought, okay, I can talk about that too. What I did was I put together my own video, my experience, my perspective, some clips I already had, and that post took off. Right now it's sitting over 630 something odd views right now. 630 something thousand odd views right now. So at first, I assumed it would do well because, August is a big month for tourism on Martha's Vineyard, especially for Black travelers. But I didn't realize how big the conversation was until afterwards. So when I went back and looked, I noticed that Tabitha wasn't the only one talking about it. Several creators across TikTok, Instagram, and even on mainstream media outlets were posting Vineyard content that same week. So that's the power of timing. I didn't start the wave, I just joined it while it was still rising. Let's break down why that video blew up, and then I'm going to tell you what I did afterwards. It blew up because of cultural relevance. People were already searching for it and engaging with Martha's Vineyard content. Okay, it blew up because of a personal perspective. I didn't just repost clips. I added my own take, my experience, and my voice. And there was authenticity built in because it didn't feel like I was chasing a trend. It just felt like, I was part of that moment. That's how you make trending topics fit you. So, how do you actually find these opportunities before they're everywhere? This is what I do on every platform. On TikTok, you can check the Creative Center. It shows trending sounds, hashtags, and creators by region. You can spend 10 minutes scrolling your For You page, and when you see the same audio or video format twice or 3 times, make note. Follow a few accounts that post daily trend roundups. That'll help too. On Instagram, watch for the little arrow beside the audio name. That means it's trending. You can check Explore and you can pay attention to repeated caption styles or topics. You can also look for trends spilling over from TikTok. They usually hit Instagram Reels next. Now, on YouTube Shorts, trends usually move slower, but they last longer. So watch for repeated titles or similar thumbnail phrasing. Pay attention to your own recommendations. If you're seeing multiple creators doing a variation of that same thing, that's your cue. And don't forget about seasonal trends. These are things that come back every year, like holiday planning, travel seasons, back to school, or even viral foods. Now, those are the easiest waves to predict. So, let me talk about a part where most creators end up messing up. They try to copy the trend exactly as they saw it, and then they wonder why it didn't perform. You have got to make that trend make sense for your audience. Let's say there's a trending sound where everyone's showing their morning routine. If you're a food creator, make it your breakfast prep. If you're in fitness, make it your pre-workout routine. If you're in travel, show your morning in a new city or your packing routine. It's the same format, but now it fits your world. And remember that authenticity is always going to win. If you can't tie the trend to your message or your niche naturally, you should just go on and skip it. So the next thing I want to say is timing is everything. When you spot a trend that fits, you need to act fast. On TikTok, you need to post within 24 to 48 hours. On Instagram Reels, maybe you've got 3 to 5 days. On YouTube Shorts, you can stretch it out to about a week. If it's a seasonal or cultural trend like travel season or a big event or a holiday, plan before the wave hits. Create the content early so that you're ready to post right as everyone else starts talking about it. So, I have one more example of riding a trend. It's my Snacklebox video. These silly little compartmentalized snack boxes started showing up everywhere early this past summer. So I bought some for my granddaughter's birthday party, and I noticed that my daughter's post about the Snacklebox was taken off. And I thought, let me put my spin on it. So I made a version from my own perspective showing how I would use it for travel, and that video blew up. Right now, it's got almost 2 million views because that hit a sweet spot between a visual trend, relatability, and timing. But here's the thing. I didn't invent the Snacklebox idea. I just recognized it early. I added my own twist, and I joined the conversation while people were still excited about it. Now, that's the difference between chasing a trend and riding a trend. Let's work through a few other examples so that you can see how this works in different niches. Okay, wellness. Maybe there's a sound going around about romanticizing your life. You could show your morning walk, your skincare, or maybe even journaling routine. If you are a business creator, maybe a meme about hard truths and sharing something real about your content burnout. If you're into home and decor, seasonal decor haul trends, share your own version with your aesthetic. And then there's my favorite, travel. If everyone's posting about a specific destination like Italy or Cabo, join that conversation with your own take, even if it's a before you go tip or travel hack. So the goal is to meet people where the attention is already and not to force attention where it isn't, if that makes sense. So let's talk about what not to do when chasing trends. Being too late. If you're seeing it on every major creator's feed, the wave is probably already peaked. If you try and force it, if the trend doesn't align with your audience or message, you should just go on and skip it. And ignoring data. Always check your analytics. What kind of trends have worked for you before? You should also avoid using the same format. Mix it up so your content doesn't feel like copy paste trend hopping type of thing. But this is what I want you to take away from this episode of the Social Growth Experiment. When you see a topic or format that's catching some traction, you need to move fast. You need to make it your own, and you need to give it your authentic voice. Now, you don't have to start the trend to grow from it. You just have to recognize when the wave is building and jump in before it crests. So next week, we're talking about what to do after that post takes off, how to double down, how to keep the momentum going, and turn one win into consistent growth. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you an example how jumping on that one trend gained me 30,000 followers in a month. And if you found this helpful, you might want to go ahead and join my free Facebook group where we talk about strategies like this every week. And if you want coaching, if you want templates, if you want ongoing support, all the links will be in my description box. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you next week on the Social Growth Experiment.